Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Gaming with My Dart Swinger. In this episode, we'll go over getting started in Star Citizen. The first thing you're going to need to do is open your web browser. Then navigate to robertspaceindustries.com. I'll provide a link in the video description for you. As a quick warning, make sure you check that your computer will run Star Citizen. This game does require a fairly powerful computer to run. You don't want to waste your money on a game that you won't even be able to install. To do this, go to Star Citizen at the top of the page, and then click Download. This will give you a checklist of items needed to play the game. Scroll down to see the system requirements. If your computer meets these system requirements, you're good to proceed. The next thing you'll need to do is register. To register, you'll click My RSI. This will open up a pop-up window asking you to log into RSI. Since you won't have an account yet, you'll need to click Enlist Now. This will take you to the screen where you enter the information that you want to use to set up your account. Most of what you'll be putting in is self-explanatory. However, some of it may need to be explained a bit. The first thing you'll enter is your login ID. This is a unique name that only you will see. The only time you'll use this is to log into the game or to the website. The next thing that may need explaining is the community moniker. This is whatever name you want to be known by in the Star Citizen universe. It is public, but it's not unique. The last thing you may need some clarifying on is the handle. This is your unique ID that separates you from other people with the same community moniker. Your handle will also be used when friends and other gamers are searching for you. Once you've completed the information, including the CAPTCHA, check the box next to I agree to the terms of service, and then click Enlist. You may need to verify your email address, but once this is done, you're ready to get your pledge package. Once you've verified your email, you may have to log in. Go back to your main page, click on My RSI, and do the same thing you did except when you registered, except for instead of clicking Enlist, just type in your login name and password, and then click Login. Once you're logged in, it's time to get your pledge package. To do this, look at the top bar of the screen and click Store. Then you'll click Pledge. And once you get to the pledge page, you'll click on the game packages. This will give you a complete list of packages that include the full game once it's released. Most have beta access, but only 2 have access to the current Arena Commander module. When I'm looking at this page, I prefer to click on Price next to Sort By to put the packages in easily understandable order. If you choose to select the minimum pledge to get into Arena Commander, look for the 2 packages that have the Arena Commander emblem in the center of the image. Otherwise, look for whichever ship you want. If you're not familiar with the ships, you can take a look at my starter package and mid-range package videos for information on some of the ship packages. If one catches your eye that I haven't covered, or you wish to look for more information, you can navigate to the forums by clicking on Community, come back up to the top, click on Community, and then click on Forums. Once there, you can search for whatever ship has caught your eye and get some more information on it. Additionally, you can search YouTube for more videos on other channels. Once you've decided on your package, click on the package you wish to purchase, then click Add to Cart. For this example, I'm just going to go ahead and click on the Hornet F7C. You can either go into the main package page and click Add to Cart there, or just click Add to Cart right here. Now, if the package you've chosen includes the Arena Commander access, then continue to check out just as you would with any other online shopping cart. However, if the package you've chosen does not include access to Arena Commander, and you want to get in on it, you'll have to purchase an Arena Commander Module Pass for an additional $5. To do this from your shopping cart, click Continue Shopping. This will take you back to the Pledge Store's main page. Once there, click on Extras and then click on Module Passes. The only one there at the moment is the Arena Commander Module Pass, but there may be more as future modules, such as the first-person shooter and social modules are released for the game. At this point, you can click Add to Cart to add it, and then click Checkout. Once you've completed your purchase, you'll want to go to your billing and subscription page to check on the status of your order. Let me go ahead and just clear this out real quick before we go on to that, since I'm not looking to purchase anything at the moment. So you go to get to your billing and subscription page. If you're at the purchase confirmation page, click on the billing and subscription link in bold white letters. If not, just go to My RSI, click on My Account, and then click on Billing and Subscription. Once there, you'll see your order below Orders. Once the status is set to close and the fulfillment is set to done, the order has been credited to your account and you're ready to download the game. To download the game, go to Star Citizen at the top of the page and click on Download. This will give you the checklist that's required to play the game, the same one you looked at before. At this point, everything should have a green check mark to it, next to it, except the latest version. Below your checklist is a download installer. Click it to begin downloading the installer. Once downloaded, install and launch the installer. Okay, once the launcher is installed, the next thing you're going to want to do is double click on the launcher icon where it says Star Citizen. Click Yes to use administrative permissions, and it'll bring you to this window. Put in your login name and your password, and then click Sign In. Give me just a moment to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, once you get the client downloaded, your screen should look like this. So the next thing you're going to want to do is click Launch and load into the game. It is quite a lengthy load in, so let me go ahead and stop the recording, and I'll be right back with you once I'm logged in. Alrighty guys, once you get loaded in, this is what you should see depending on your hangar. My hangar at the moment is the AirView hangar. Yours may be a little bit different, but at this point you should be loaded into your hangar where you're staring at least one of your ships. At this point, you're welcome to walk around, take a look at your hangar, see what all is in there, kind of explore a little bit, or if you want to just jump straight in and start fighting, you're going to want to set up your controls, which we'll go ahead and do next. First thing you're going to want to do is press Escape. And what that'll do is bring up your main menu, then click Options. At this point, you can look at the options here under your game settings. I like to have my flight lead pip reticle set to yes. By default, it is no. So if you do want your lead pip reticle, click the blue arrow on the right. Mine's gray because it does say yes already. But if yours says no, your right arrow will be blue. So go ahead and click that to set it to yes. Additionally, the vibration, that is when you get hit, everything kind of vibrates. That is set by default to yes. If you don't want to see that, then, or your system's a little bit older, may not quite be able to handle higher graphics, you might want to go ahead and set that to no. And there's a couple other options you can check if you want. If you want to be able to read what everything's saying, you can click your both subtitles to yes. Cinematic cameras, I've tried it, I haven't really noticed much of a difference, so I just leave it set to the default of no. Your next tab is your graphics tab. Set your monitor resolution. Generally you're going to want it full screen, but windowed may be better depending on the setup you're running. Choose the quality of the graphics based on your system specs. If you got a pretty high-end computer, you might be able to run very high. And try that first, and if it doesn't work too well for you, you can always bump it down. Next is your audio. You have your overall music volume, your sound effects, and your flash video sound volume, which I'm not quite sure about the flash video sound volume yet. That's probably going to be for like cut scenes and such. You got your music volume and sound effects volume. If one of those gets a little bit too loud for you, you can always turn that down. Then you have your controls options. At this point, we will wait on looking at this menu until we complete your key bindings, which is going to be the next thing we're going to look at. Click on the key binding, and this is where you can start looking at which control setup you're using. By default, the mouse and keyboard is what you can use. It's set up just like you see here, and it's ready to go. And it works pretty well if that's what you choose. Personally, I find it a little difficult to use the mouse and keyboard setup, but if that's all you've got, there's nothing wrong with that. But I would recommend that if you are using mouse and keyboard, you go back to your controls options, look at the mouse tab here. You can go and just minimize your inversion settings. I would recommend changing your sensitivity settings because the default sensitivity settings, it is way too sensitive, and every little mouse movement, a slight bump of the mouse is going to cause your ship to go all over the place. So you're going to want to go ahead and change that. Go back to key binding. There are control options available for the gamepad. So if you want to use an Xbox 360 controller or any other kind of gamepad, you can do so with this game. And there's the default setup for it. However, it's probably going to be like the joystick, where depending on the controller you have, you're going to have to go into the advanced controls customization and make sure you bind everything to it. But you're always welcome to check that out in a free flight before you do that, before you go through all the hassles of trying to set it up. The next option is your joystick and HOTAS, which HOTAS stands for hands-on throttle system. But in my case, I'm not using a hands-on throttle. I am using a joystick and I'm using rudder pedals. So what I needed to do to get set up, and what you will need to do if you want to use a joystick, is go to Advanced Controls Customization. So you're still going to be on joystick HOTAS. These are under Flight General. These are just kind of general things you don't have to worry too much about right off the bat. Those are a little bit more advanced settings, but if you just want to jump in, so you don't have to do those. But they will come in handy later. Then you have your view controls. I'm using a Logitech Extreme 3D Pro. So what you're going to want to do if you're using that particular joystick, or any joystick for that matter, you will want to set up your view commands, which I have mine set to the hat button, and it is a button, so you don't want to use the look left/right. You're going to want to make sure you set up a separate input on your hat button for each for look left and look right. To reset it, click on the one you want to set, double click it, and then use that input on your joystick. And same thing with left and right goes for your look up and down. Cycle camera view, you can set that as well. That's another handy one to have on your joystick. Then comes to the important ones, your flight controls. I have my joystick set up to where it works like what it would if you're flying an airplane. The Y-axis, which is the forward and backwards on the main stick, pulls pitch up and pushes the nose down. The yaw, which is twisting the joystick if your joystick has that feature, that is what causes the aircraft, in this case spacecraft, to rotate left-right about its axis. Your roll axis, which causes the wings to dip one way or the other, is set up for the x-axis, which is pushing the joystick left or right. Then my joystick does have a throttle slider, so that is how I have that one set up. Then the strafe up and strafe down, if you don't have a throttle system or if you don't have rudder pedals like I do, excuse me, you're just going to leave this blank and set it up with your keyboard and mouse. But personally, since I have my rudder pedals, I use the strafe up and strafe down as the toe brakes. The strafe up is the y-axis, so that would be my right toe brake. The strafe down is the x-axis, which is my left toe brake. Then for my strafe left and right, I have the z-axis, which that is actually the rudder pedal axis. Push it left, it strafes left. Push it right, it strafes right. Now, one thing I don't have set up at the moment, but I do need to get set up at some point, is the strafe forward and back. That'll come in really handy when you're trying to land or also trying to fly in formation. Then you're also going to want to make sure you have your targeting aim set up. I have mine set the same as my view with the hat buttons on my joystick. Then you have a cycle all targets input. You will want to have that on your joystick, so you don't have to be reaching for your keyboard for it. And what that'll do is when you're in a battle, you can cycle through friendly and enemy targets, other ships, so you can see them on your scanner and see which direction and how far they are in relation to you. Sometimes the scroll wheel on the mouse doesn't work too well in these menus, so you may have to come over to the right hand side and click and drag the bar. Missile lock is going to be another important one that you're going to want to set up, because most ships do have missiles and you will want to use them. Then you want to make sure you have your fire weapon groups set up. Button 1, which is the index finger trigger on my joystick, is for my main group, which is generally my nose weapons or my higher caliber weapons. Fire weapon group 2 is generally the thumb button that's right on the top of the stick, kind of off to the left hand side of it, right where my thumb rests, and that's usually my wing weapons or my lower caliber weapons. Since most of the ships I have, as a matter of fact none of the ships I have 3 and 4 weapon groups, I don't have those set up yet. Then you have a launch missile command you're going to want to set up. I have that one set up on top of my joystick, as well as my locked target. Countermeasures is another important one you're going to want to set up, as well as cycle countermeasure ammo. Those are both set up on the thumb, for my thumb to use on top of the joystick. Shield levels, generally you can do that with your number pad on your keyboard. But if you have enough buttons left over on your joystick, you can also use that as well. You have your radar, your HUD, different commands you can use. But at this point, you're ready to fly. Which there's a couple of things you can do. You can either come back out to your hangar, go to a ship, excuse me. Okay, in case of the Avenger, there's a door in the back. Press F when the use prompt comes up. You can walk in, come up to the next one, press use. Now every ship is going to be slightly different as to how you get in it. I'm just using the Avenger as an example because it's closest to me. And once you get to your seat on a ship like this, you can just press F again with the use prompt, and it brings you in. And it brings up your Arena Commander. Now, there are different game modes you can use in Arena Commander. The primary one you're going to want to start off with is your drone sim. Additionally, you're also going to want to start off in free flight. That way you can kind of get a hang of how your controls are set up, get the feel for them, and if there's any adjustments that are needed particularly to your dead zones and to your sensitivities. I do recommend flying it on Broken Moon first, as it is a little bit more wide open than the Dying Star map. If you have multiple ships, you'll have, and also, even though I don't have the Drake Cutlass Black, it is currently on a fly free for a week, which they tend to do that about every other week or so, where you can fly a sampling of different ships. It might persuade you to buy a new one. Additionally, you're going to want to double check and make sure that the ship that's selected right here is going to be the ship that you just got into and want to fly. Because if there is one that's on fly free for a week, that could be higher up in the alphabet. So say if your initial purchase was the Origin 300i and the fly free for a week is the Aegis Dynamics Avenger, the Avenger would be the one that would be most likely up at the top and selected here. So make sure that's the correct ship that you want to fly. Also in your drone sim modes, you have your Vandal Swarm, which you see me mostly flying in my videos. This is when it's just you against, along with your AI teammates, you have 2 of them, against wave upon wave of enemy fighters. And they are also AI. The next mode is a race mode. With your race mode, you're on a track on a planet, but you are high up in the atmosphere, and they don't quite have the in-atmosphere physics set up yet. So it will still fly like it is out in space, but this is a good way of fine-tuning your skills. So you're racing through different checkpoints, and you're just racing against the clock. Because in this mode there are no other contenders. And I would recommend starting on the old Vanderval New Horizon Speedway, because it is the easiest. But as you get better with that mode, you can move up to the Rickord Memorial Raceway, the Defford Link speedways, as each speedway does get harder and harder to fly, as they are more complex. I'm still pretty much stuck on the old Vanderval Speedway myself, as some of the ships I fly have habits of just drifting way off course when I'm trying to go through a checkpoint, particularly if I'm going at a high speed. And that's your drone sim modes. Additionally, you have a spectrum match. This is where you can go in, and if you go public, this is going to place you or your friends against other players. You either do a battle royale, which is going to be your PvP, free for all. It's going to be what most Call of Duty players would be familiar with, or any other first-person shooters. Get a certain number of points to win the game. You have Capture the Core. Personally, I haven't played this mode yet, but it does say teams must steal the opposition's core while defending their own in order to combine the two and score. You also have a Squadron Battle. Teams must reduce the opposition's tickets to 0 before scoring a final kill to win. I imagine this is going to be kind of a take and hold, maybe capture the flag type event, but I haven't flown it yet myself. Then you have a cooperative Vandal Swarm. With this, if you jump in here, it'll match you with other players to go up against the Vandal Swarm the same way you would as if you're going solo in the drone sim. And you also have the classic race mode, which this will put you against other players in a race. And again, if you come up here, make sure the ship you want to fly is selected. And to the left, you do have any friends that you've added, which I'll go over adding friends here in just a minute. But then you also have your private match, which in the private match, you invite your friends to play either whichever mode you're looking to play, and you can do anything that you would normally do in the public matches, but it's going to be limited to just you and your friends. Now, I did say there are two ways that you can access the Arena Commander. The first one we already went over was getting into your ship. Additionally, you can press Escape to go to your main menu and then click on Arena Commander. It'll give you the exact same menu options you just saw. Oh, let's see. I did say I was going to do something else. I do apologize. Might have to go back here in just a minute and listen to what I said. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you how to get into some of these other ships. We'll use the Gladius, for example. Oh yes, now I remember what I said I was going to show you. But I will have to leave out of this game anyway to show you that. Alright, there's the use button. So on a ship like the Gladius, you just come up to the front. It'll press the F where it says use. It'll drop the ladder, and you press F to use the ladder. But since the Gladius is not yet flyable in the game, it won't come up with the Arena Commander options. Other ships that are flyable in Arena Commander will come up with those options. And I hope you enjoyed this. I will be right back here in just a moment to discuss how you can see your ships if you're not seeing them when you first get in the hangar. Alright, I did say I was going to let you know how to use your friends and contacts. There are two ways of doing it. First way is from inside the hangar. Unfortunately, my game capture software wouldn't pick up the box, so I'm just going to go ahead and describe it to you with some game footage in the background. So the first way is in the hangar, and the way you're going to do it is press L to access your contacts list. Click in the text box and type the handle of the username of the user that you're wanting to add. Now, your community moniker will not work because that one is not unique. You will want to make sure you type in the user's handle. Once you type in their handle, hit enter or click add. Once you're done with that, click outside of the box and then hit F to close, or excuse me, click L to close it. Now, the second way of adding friends to your contact list is on the website. Go back to robertspaceindustries.com, click on My RSI, and you go to Contacts. There, you can search your directory, or you can click Add Citizen to your list. At this point, you're actually going to want to click Add Citizen to your list, and then type in the name of the contact. We're just going to show you how it works. Unfortunately, it didn't let me do my own name, but you would search for them. It'll come up with a few different names. Click on the one that's the correct one, and then you'll click Add to Contacts. Okay, the last thing I wanted to show you is how to get your ships where you can see them in the hangar if you haven't done so already. The way you're going to do this is go to My RSI, and then click on My Hangar. Scroll down, see your hangar, and then click Configure. You'll see if you have multiple hangars available, you'll see those available up there at the top, and you can select them there. Then you'll have your ships on the left-hand side. Those will be your unused ships. You can just drag them over to the right-hand side where your ships are going to be located into your hangar. Each hangar bay is capable of holding 3 small ships, 1 medium, or 1 large ship. Then you're going to click save, and then you're going to start your game. You're good to go. That's all there is to it. Don't forget, if you guys like this video, give it the old thumbs up and subscribe. And thanks for watching.